Hey everybody, it's Steven, and it's been a while since we've done one of these, and I thought I'd do a blast from your past today and talk about what looks like a bunch of record albums here, but what these actually are Laserdiscs, the precursor to the Blu-ray, the DVD. Um, as a matter of fact, this is the Criterion Collection. This is kind of how they got their start with Laserdisc. Back in the day, when VHS was the popular video format, Laserdisc came out, and they kind of started the whole thing of having extras like they have on DVDs. You could put commentary tracks, and this one has like the original title sequence and behind the scenes close-up photos of the models, and commentary by Ray Harryhausen on Jason and the Argonauts. And these back in the day, Laserdiscs were quite expensive, and Laserdisc players were really expensive too. I never owned one, but nowadays, because they are a defunct format, you can pick these up. There's a record store that in my neighborhood that I bought a lot of these for under $1, and so that's pretty good. And the Laserdisc players are a lot cheaper now too, but of course, if they break, it's hard to find parts. And you may wonder, like, why even bother? Most everything is on Blu-ray nowadays. Well, there's a lot of things that aren't on Blu-ray. Here's a good example of it. The Complete Tex Avery, this 5-disc box set, 5 discs, and each disc has 2 sides, just like an LP. And there's almost 70 cartoons on here, and this has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. There's a lot of Laserdiscs like that, and some of the commentaries and extras have never been transferred over either. So there's a lot of really interesting sort of film artifacts out there. This is, we'll show you what this was like. In this box set, you got a big sheet that tells you, the lowdown and description on all the videos, and it gives you the chapters and so on, because there's no menus on Laserdiscs. And this is what Laserdiscs look like. So let's open up the machine. Use the remote. Voila! And take out the disc, and it looks just like a record, pretty much an LP, except it's metallic silver. And put it in here and press play, and you're good to go. Now this is an old Laserdisc player. When side 1 was finished, you had to get up, walk over, and turn it over to side 2. They made Laserdisc players later on that played both sides without having to turn it over, but this is one of the original ones, and it's a nice one actually too. I hear music. Let's get the TV on and see what Laserdisc looks like. So here we have your Laserdisc menu, which isn't much. It just tells you, that you're in play mode and what side you're on. And you can skip and go through the different chapters, find what you're looking for. And notice the shape of the screen. It's very square, even though we're looking at looking at this on a widescreen TV. But this was shot in the 1940s, this animation, so this is the way it should look. It should look like a square. But once we get into widescreen films, the picture will not be any bigger. It'll just be letterboxed with black bars top and bottom in this same square. So let's put in a letterbox film and see what that looks like. And there we go. And this is, by the way, this is a Japanese Laserdisc from Japan. And you'll notice here in a second that the Japanese subtitles are burned in on the picture, right on the screen. These are not subtitles you can turn on and off like you can do nowadays with DVDs and Blu-rays. They're pretty much there, but in some cases there were Laserdiscs released in other countries that you couldn't get here in the United States, so you're willing to live with the subtitles being there so long as you could get a copy of the film that you couldn't find anywhere else. This, by the way, is a movie called Solar Crisis, which I worked on, and the Japanese version of it is called Crisis 2050. It's actually edited very differently than the American version. It's quite a different film. Now here's a chance to get a little better look at the machine itself. These Pioneer disc players are really beautifully designed machines. You can see just like the VCR and the dual cassette player underneath it, they're just like any other stereo component. And speaking of which, take the disc out. You see these different size rings in here shows you that this machine could not only play Laserdiscs, but it could play your CDs too. So it could be used as a stereo and a video player. And some of the later Laserdisc players also played DVDs, so those could really do just about everything. And they just had a really nice design. It's a very elegant looking machine. So there you go, that's Laserdisc, and you know, these things didn't always last forever. Some of them, depending on where they're manufactured, have something called disc rot, where air got into the layers, and it starts causing video dropout. And it's kind of sad because there's some really good films out on Laserdisc that, like I said, have not been transferred to Blu-ray. And so there you go. I keep a lot of these old machines around because you never know when you're going to run into something that you want to archive or digitally restore, or just play it and see or hear what it sounds like. And these machines are getting harder and harder to find, so I like to keep mine in running condition because you never know what kind of treasures are out there. Anyway, that's the blast from your past this time. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.